a 200K job with no experience? Let me tell you how I did it, and more importantly, how you can too. Welcome to the world of startups. What is a startup, you may ask? It's literally a company that just started up. So how do you get a job without experience? Let's get into it. When you first work at a startup, you're definitely gonna earn less cash than what you would if you had a stable 9-to-5 job. But you get shares, and as the company gets bigger and you prove to be extremely valuable, your compensation can rocket. A startup doesn't have normal working hours, but if you stay the course, you could change your life. Like my first job paid me $30,000 a year. But then within a year, I was an 18-year-old earning $100K a year. You also get shares. And if the company goes from $10 million in value when you start to $1 billion and they give you 0.5%, that's a lot of money with a tiny bit of the company. If you're wondering, how did I find out about startups? At 17, I just moved to London to study. So the first job I got was working in a restaurant. And one night, I was finishing up my shift. I saw this one guy with a really nice watch. I couldn't help but ask him, what do you do for a living? I felt like James, School of Hard Knocks.
Excuse me, sir.
What do you do for a living? I walked up to this guy anyways, and I asked him, what do you do? He said, I own a startup. I thought, what? What do you mean start up? Like, he told me, I built my own company, have all these employees. And he used to tip really well. He used to put like 40 pounds on a table. The sad thing was my boss didn't let me keep the tips. I think that's illegal. Anyways, I went home one night. I couldn't stop thinking about this guy. Pause. Pause. No. Couldn't stop thinking about what he said. He was wealthy. He was doing something super non-traditional. I didn't want to spend the next 5 years working at an investment bank. So that night I went home and I gave myself a challenge. I'm gonna list as many startups I can find in the local area and go and ask every single one of them for a job. I didn't have any experience. There was no hope until there was. I literally went on Google, searched up companies in the area that have recently raised funding. And then I emailed, I went to their offices, nothing worked. I did it tens of times until one place gave me an opportunity, and that changed my life forever. If you're wondering how to find a startup, the first thing you can do is go on Google and type startup raised funding and your city name. And when you do this, you'll see headlines of companies raising millions of dollars to do something revolutionary. They've just raised that cash, which means they need to find people to help them make it happen. And when people see that, they think, yo, I'm gonna go and message this guy and say, hey, I'm an intern, I'm willing to work. None of that works. You need to do things differently. People in startups don't have much time. So if you go to them asking for them to think of what job they can give you, you're wasting their time. But doing free work is a game changer. So if you're talented, if you do projects that can actually help these companies, do them for free. Get yourself in the door. And once you're in the door, if you're good, you'll never leave. And you make a lot of money in the world of startups. I watch a lot of Instagram reels, and I saw this one guy, Eric Ooh, just make videos talking to the camera, yapping about any takes he has. But then a startup came to him and offered him a 6-figure salary. That's a pretty good deal for just making videos talking to the camera. Startups are different to normal businesses. They don't look for experienced people. They want young, hungry people who are willing to learn along the way. Because if they knew how to do things, they wouldn't be a startup. I've spent 6 years working in this space, even seen a small company go from a team of 10 to $1 billion business. A resume means nothing. I remember someone told me, I was the president of chess club. Nobody cares, bro. Tell me how you react when things go wrong. Show me what you can do. I don't have time to figure out whether it's worth taking a shot on you or not. But if you can give me things beforehand, put some work out there into the world, make a post, come up with some creative content, code something, and show it to me before I actually interview you, maybe I'll want to give you a job. That just flips everything around. You've literally reversed the hiring process. I don't need to hire you based on a gut feeling. You've already shown me what you can do. Imagine you try to do some free work for a founder of a startup. They might see some potential in you. And just because of the fact you tried, your life might change forever. People who build startups need a team of mercenaries. If you can prove that at your work, you are a killer, at least from your spirit, they will take a chance on you. There is no reason for you to not be involved with the business. Startup people think differently. They want to see you fail just to see how you react. The first day I joined a startup, no one told me anything. I was sitting around twiddling my thumbs to the point where at the end of the day, the boss came up to me and he said, Ryan, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think you're gonna last long here. Put yourself in my position. I needed to make this work. I had no other option. It was either this or I go back to working in the restaurant. So I came up with this idea. If I can make everyone's life easier by taking the work they don't want to do, maybe eventually, as the business grows, they'll trust me to do more. But I needed a job. So the goal was be as useful as possible, make sure I can make some money, and then figure it out later. And at the end of my 2-week-long internship, I had a full-time job at the age of 17. From working in a restaurant to being an intern at a startup to being the youngest employee at a billion-dollar company. If I can do it, you can too. Right now, I've got a pretty senior position at a startup that's become one of the biggest names in its space, a company that I've closed tens of millions of dollars of business for. And because of that, we've been hiring people recently. And when I interview folks, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I look for. I'm gonna just be real. Hunger is the most important thing when hiring someone. Everyone will work a 9 to 5, but who is actually online past 5 p.m. You want people who don't work in terms of hours, but get things done and are always reliable. And the most valuable thing that is so rare to find is resourcefulness. I'm talking about people who don't sit still. Like when you finish a task, you don't just say, hey, I'm logging off. I've done everything I need to do. No, in a startup, you almost need to be paranoid, like a healthy sense of paranoia. What's happening next? What can I be doing next? How do you help the overall company do well? You want to fit hiring you into their life. These are people with busy lives. I've had interviews, and many of them in the past, with fresh graduates who haven't even asked me what the company does. They were asking me when can I start? Bro, ask questions. The only reason my boss took me seriously in the first company I worked at was literally because I asked so many questions. I asked, what do you not like doing? What do you like doing? What does the company do? Where's the company trying to be in the next few years? What's the mission? These simple questions that help you understand. First of all, do you connect to that company? Do you actually want to work there? That's the first thing. Don't just think job, money, lit. Hell no. But if you wanted to get a job with no experience, this is what you got to do. Talk to the customers of that startup, people who are already paying them, and try and figure out what they're missing. And then prepare a plan. Hey, we can launch this new product feature. Or imagine you want to work in sales at a company. Wouldn't it be cool to go and cold call someone, get someone who's ready to pay, and go to them and say, look, I've brought you a client, I closed your client, I convinced someone to pay for your product. At that point, they're going to see your hunger and hire you within an hour. I promise you. Go and do the job, and then it will come. Free work is the most underrated thing ever. This is how you get a $200K a year job with no experience. You find people with resources, you see what their problems are, then you go and solve their problems in your own time to a good enough degree by practicing and learning. Give them the free work, expecting nothing in return, and then suddenly, you might find yourself with a job earning a lot more than you expected. Your life will change forever. Too many put privilege in the way of their potential. They'll sit down and say, no, this is not worth my time. If you earn nothing right now, if you're unemployed, nothing is not worth your time. You can sit down and spend 6 hours doing something that makes you nothing. You don't learn anything by the end of the day, that's fine. Your time was worth 0 anyways, so why not try? Now, more than ever before, there's a limited pool of talent, people who can actually do good work, right? But a ton of people applying, a shit ton of people applying. Let's say I run a company. You're expecting me to be comfortable paying $10K a month to one of these 100 people, even though none of them have done something for me to prove they're capable. They just say, oh, I worked at this company. Or even when you've got no experience, they just made a fancy looking resume. Also, they're not going to read all of them. So if you're super talented, but you just were lazy and only put your resume in, submitted your resume, right? That's your fault. You want to be able to get their attention as best as you can. Let me show you a different reality. There's 100 people who have just applied day one. Instead of applying with a resume, you go and post a project online or email the CEO something really interesting. You go and make something viral on social media that gets the company 1 million views or 10 million views and paints them in a great light. Someone at the company might see that before they start reviewing resumes. So at that point, you beat all these 100 people to the mark just by being creative, just by doing things differently. It's a win-win for everyone. I mean, if I was hiring, someone said, I'm going to work for free. And they did that for a week and they were actually good. If they weren't good, unfortunately, you got to be honest. If they were great, I'm going to give them a job. That's what I did. I did free work for companies. Most of them didn't care, but one of them changed my life forever. And if you're sitting here thinking, there's no chance that I can ever get a job, losing hope, don't give up. Think about how you could do things differently. By the way, I've been making videos for the last 6 months. I'm not doing this for money. There's no course I have to sell you. This is all free, and I hope it can help somebody who needs it at this time. And what would make this all worth it is if someone could use it to help themselves, support their families by doing things differently. And that would mean the world to me. And if it does help you, please tell me about it. Or if you have any questions, situations, whatever, pop me a comment below, let me know. Also, you might want to check out this video where I go into detail on how I pitched myself to 7 companies, getting me 7 full-time jobs in 6 years. 6, 7. Anyways, see you in a future video.